In January 2026, Google announced it had replaced 30% of its new code with artificial intelligence. Microsoft followed with 25%. Klarna, the buy now, pay later company, replaced 700 customer service agents with a single AI system and said it performs the work of what used to be 700 people. In the past 12 months alone, over 300,000 tech workers have been laid off globally, and the number one reason cited by executives is, quote, restructuring around AI capabilities. McKinsey now estimates that by 2030, up to 400 million workers worldwide will need to find entirely new occupations. This is not a prediction about the distant future. This is happening right now, in real time, and the speed is accelerating. This is the full story of the AI job crisis that nobody is preparing for. Let me start with the data that should terrify you. Goldman Sachs published a report estimating that generative AI could automate 300 million full-time jobs worldwide. The World Economic Forum says 83 million jobs will be eliminated by 2027. But here is the number that changed everything. A 2025 study from the University of Pennsylvania found that 80% of the American workforce will have at least 10% of their tasks affected by large language models, and 19% of workers will see 50% or more of their tasks automated. That is not blue-collar factory work. That is lawyers, accountants, copywriters, analysts, programmers, customer service representatives, and managers. For the first time in history, automation is not coming for the assembly line. It is coming for the corner office. This is not theoretical. Major companies are already doing it. Klarna replaced 700 agents with AI and reported the system resolves issues in 2 minutes instead of 11, with higher customer satisfaction scores. IBM paused hiring for any role that AI could handle, eliminating roughly 7,800 positions. British Telecom announced plans to cut 55,000 jobs by 2030 with AI handling the work. Dropbox laid off 500 employees and its CEO said, quote, AI is the reason. UPS eliminated 12,000 management positions. Chegg, the education company, lost 50% of its subscribers after students switched to ChatGPT and then laid off 23% of its staff. The pattern is consistent. Company adopts AI, productivity goes up, headcount goes down. Every single quarter of 2025 saw a record number of companies citing AI in their earnings calls as the reason for workforce reductions. Here is the part that makes this crisis different from every previous wave of automation. In every industrial revolution, machines replaced physical labor first. Blue-collar workers lost jobs on factory floors and farm fields. The advice was always the same: go to college, get an education, work with your brain instead of your hands. That advice is now catastrophically wrong. AI is better at cognitive tasks than physical tasks. A large language model can write legal briefs, analyze financial data, create marketing campaigns, and debug code. But it still cannot fix a toilet, replace drywall, or install electrical wiring. The World Economic Forum confirmed this. The jobs most resistant to AI are electricians, plumbers, construction workers, mechanics, and healthcare aides. The jobs most vulnerable are financial analysts, legal assistants, content writers, graphic designers, and software developers. The entire economic ladder has been flipped upside down. The 4-year degree that cost you $200,000 may now be worth less than a plumbing certification. The most dangerous part of this crisis is the speed. Previous technological transitions took decades. The Industrial Revolution unfolded over 100 years. The computer revolution took 40 years. The internet disruption took 20 years. AI is doing it in 5. ChatGPT launched in November 2022. In just 3 years, it has more than 200 million weekly active users. OpenAI went from a small research lab to a company valued at over $150 billion. Every major tech company has pivoted its entire strategy around AI. Google's CEO said AI is the most profound technology humanity has ever worked on, more transformative than fire or electricity. And this is just the beginning. AI models are doubling in capability roughly every 6 to 9 months. What AI can do today is the worst it will ever be. That means every job that feels safe right now could be automated within 2 to 3 years. We have never seen economic disruption at this speed. Society is not built to absorb this. Every time someone raises the alarm about AI job losses, the same response appears. AI will create more jobs than it destroys. This is the most repeated and least examined claim of our time. Yes, the ATM was invented and bank teller jobs eventually grew. Yes, the internet killed bookstores but created Amazon. But there is a critical difference this time. Previous technologies automated specific tasks. AI automates thinking itself. When you automate thinking, you are not replacing one job with another. You are replacing the fundamental thing that makes humans employable. MIT economist Darren Acemoglu, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2024, warns that the optimistic projections are, quote, wildly overstated. His research shows AI could create only a fraction of the jobs it eliminates, and most new AI-related jobs require specialized skills that displaced workers do not have and cannot quickly acquire. The retraining myth assumes a 50-year-old accountant can become a machine learning engineer in 6 months. That is not realistic. That is fantasy. This is where the crisis becomes a class issue. In 2025, the 5 largest AI companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and NVIDIA, reached a combined market capitalization of over $16 trillion. NVIDIA alone grew by over 200% in a single year selling AI chips. Meanwhile, the average American worker has not received a meaningful raise in over 40 years when adjusted for inflation. The productivity gains from AI are real, but they are flowing entirely to shareholders and executives. When Klarna replaced 700 workers, its CEO received a 23% pay increase. When IBM froze hiring, its stock price jumped 11%. Every time a company announces AI-driven layoffs, Wall Street cheers. This is the defining economic pattern of our era. Technology makes the economy more productive. Corporations capture all the gains, and workers absorb all the losses. AI is accelerating wealth inequality at a pace that makes the Gilded Age look moderate by comparison. So where are the governments in all of this? Mostly absent. The European Union passed the AI Act, but it focuses on safety and transparency, not job displacement. The United States has no federal AI legislation at all. China is racing to automate as fast as possible as a strategic priority. No major country has a serious plan for the hundreds of millions of workers who will be displaced. Universal basic income, the most discussed solution, has been trialed in only a handful of small pilot programs. Finland tested it with 2,000 people. The results were mixed. Meanwhile, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has said that AI will eventually create so much wealth that governments will be able to give every adult $10,000 per year. But that assumes governments will tax AI companies, and right now the opposite is happening. Tech companies spend more on lobbying than any other industry. In 2025, tech lobbying hit a record $420 million. They are not lobbying for worker protections. They are lobbying for deregulation. So what do? First, stop assuming your job is safe. Every single profession needs to honestly assess how much of its work can be done by AI, not in 10 years, but right now. Second, learn to use AI as a force multiplier. The people who will survive this transition are not the ones who compete with AI, but the ones who use it to become 10 times more productive. Third, develop skills that AI cannot replicate. Complex physical work, genuine human relationships, creative vision and taste, leadership and persuasion. Fourth, build multiple income streams. Relying on a single employer in the age of AI is the financial equivalent of building your house on a fault line. Fifth, demand action from your representatives. The window for proactive policy is closing. Once 300 million jobs are gone, it is too late to start planning. The AI revolution is not coming. It is here. The question is not whether your job will be affected. The question is whether you will be ready when it happens. Right now, artificial intelligence is eliminating jobs faster than any technology in human history. 300 million jobs at risk, 80% of the workforce affected, and almost no government has a plan. The question is not whether this will affect you. It is when. Subscribe and turn on notifications because I will be covering every major development in this crisis as it unfolds. And tell me in the comments, has AI already affected your job? What industry are you in? I read every single comment.